everybody, and welcome back to Crime in Sports.
Yippee.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be here. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
As always, and thank you so much for joining us again. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. Last week we had the fast one, Eddie Johnson.
So fun.
Fast Eddie Johnson was a trip. 100 arrests.
There it is.
That was like it was like going down a beautiful road. We went down just 100 arrests, just with little arrests. Yeah, little arrests along the way. You see the crosses on the side of the road on the way to Las Vegas in the desert. It's like that, but with crimes. Like, oh, look at that, an assault. Oh, look, he sold crack. Oh, look at this.
Before he stole a VCR.
He punched a cut. Hey, he stole a VCR. So that was a good time.
There's the pawn shop.
This week we have another insane egomaniac scumbag, a complete garbage human being, we could call him, I guess. First of all, before we get into that, I do want to say, please, if you could, rate and review on iTunes for us. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
That just helps us out tremendously with rankings and all that stuff. And so please, thank you. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate all the ones we've gotten so far. But enough of that. Let's move on. Tonight's subject, moving outside of the big three sports this week, going into skateboarding.
Yes.
And if you don't know anything about skateboarding, don't worry, doesn't matter. This story is crazy and super interesting and
Not a lot
awesome.
of stats.
It's not a lot of stats, but some. And I used to be a skater around the time of all this when I was a kid, so I know some stuff. I can guide us through skating, and I'll help you guys. We'll get through it together, guys. All right.
Fantastic.
But he's a nutcase, and he did some horrible shit that we'll get
That'll
into
fill it in.
later. So don't worry about it. Let's start out. Mark Gator Rogowski. Okay, Gator, as he's known as a skater. He's born in 1966, August 10th, 1966. Born in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Parents get divorced when he's very young. Him and his mom moved to Escondido, California when he's 3.
Wow.
And that's the thing that's going to come up constantly in his life, is that his dad was never in his life.
Weird.
He hates his dad, and he's pissed off about it. He's got
He
a
gets
lot
to live
of...
in two great places in his life, though. Escondido is beautiful. Brooklyn is Brooklyn. He gets to live in the two hustle and bustle areas of two of the biggest markets in America.
It's not like Brooklyn is now.
Right,
It was probably cooler then. It was probably like a doo-wop video, like a movie with like the burning garbage cans with some doo-wop. Picture Rocky but cleaner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rocky 1 but cleaner, because it was the 60s. And less black people probably in that particular neighborhood.
There's probably
which is
some
also
acapella
weird.
groups on the corner.
Some acapella groups going on. But anyway, they move out there. He's pissed off. He said it was his father figure was his brother Matt always. His brother Matt was his older brother, was really awesome, got him into sports. He played Little League. He was really good he's a real athletic guy. Age 7 starts skateboarding.
Wow.
Which back then, this is, he early 70, it's like 73.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is super the cusp of it. I mean, he's like one of the first guys that becomes a major skateboarder.
He was like hucking the skates off of roller skates and bolting them to a 2x4.
This is when the wheels were like rocks would sink into them because they were so soft, and it was they were making their own skateboards. Right. It was really in its infancy at this point. Yeah, really in its infancy.
Ones. Yeah.
He's so good by 12, he becomes a member of like a skate team. Like these skate parks and skate shops would have formed their own teams.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Dogtown and Z-Boys or something like that. Like that would help a lot. The documentary, not the bullshit stupid movie. The Stacey Peralta documentary. It's that sort of thing. And also, too, we're going to get a lot of info, I'll say this up front, from the documentary on this, Stoke, The Rise and Fall of Gator.
Great.
Which is a really, really interesting documentary. Not all of this but you get a good chunk of stuff. And if you guys are interested in seeing a little more and like seeing this guy in interviews and highlights and all that, you can check that documentary out. It's on YouTube, actually. Let's see here. So he's a pro at age 14. I mean, that's awesome. By 1980, he's a pro. He's doing competitions. He goes up to Vancouver in 82, wins his first big deal, Canadian Amateur Skateboarding Championships in Vancouver. He's 16 years old.
One thing I was a pro at 14 was beating off.
Yeah, I had nothing going on for me at 14. At 14, I was bad at everything, I think. I was pretty bad.
I was mediocre at NBA Jam, but I could beat this dick like crazy.
Yeah, I was really... NHL 93 hockey. I was on Sega. I was amazing at that. Masturbating probably, also reaching expert level, but not skateboarding. No. And I had been a skateboarder, too, but I was not anywhere near as good as this guy.
Sure.
I'm 6'4". I just don't have the same.
The center of gravity is a little too high.
Tony Hawk's tall too, but I'm not Tony Hawk.
No.
He looks tall. He's skinny at least. I don't know if
he's probably 6 foot.
He's
6'1".
lanky.
Yeah.
He's a lanky guy.
Yeah, he's a lanky. He's like you. He's built like you.
And I think he looks like, compared to the other skaters, he looks tall because most of these guys are like 5'8".
They're little dudes.
Tiny, like Christian Assoy and Caballero and all these guys are all real tiny guys, all these 80s guys. We'll get into this. 84, he starts getting endorsements.
Wow.
Now, this is when shit gets going for him. He's the Gator at this point. He hooks up with Vision. Now, anybody
Vision
who...
Streetwear.
There you go. Now, you weren't even a skater. But you know that logo, that Vision Streetwear logo.
It was all blurry.
Yeah, they'd have the blur. By the 90s, early 90s it was, because they were Vision was a mess. We'll get into that. But this is when Vision first started now, and this was a guy, what was his name? Peter... I can't remember. I have it written here somewhere, but we'll get into that. The head Brad Dorfman was the president of Vision,
Okay.
and he picked him out. He was their first skater.
No kidding.
Their very first endorsed skater.
He's a child.
He's a child. He's a child. At this point he's 18.
Still, I mean,
still a child.
Legally
17, I think, at the time.
That's a goddamn child.
And he also gets endorsements from Gullwing trucks, which were super light trucks. I remember back in the day. They were kind of fragile but light.
All right.
Anyway, all you skaters will know exactly what I'm talking about. But Vision boards, and he was their first, sponsored guy.
Yeah.
It's so funny because they made him the face of Vision. I mean, he was the guy they picked out, where they were like, this is our guy.
Yeah.
We're running with him. All the ads had him. There's a video called Skater Visions in 1984 that Vision put out. And now these skate videos became a huge deal. When you were a kid back then, these skate videos were so much fun to watch. They were just like
watching these dudes pull tricks and shit.
And there's punk music playing, and it was just fun.
It's very rebel.
They do stupid vignettes, and this guy was the most rebel of the rebel. That's what we have to tell you guys. Like, Gator was like the rock star of skateboarding. He was a dick.
Wore bandanas and shit.
He was just like this, kind of like the punk rock, kind of like, he was the real, like, he's always giving the camera the finger, and he was like,
he's a douchebag.
He's one of those guys. But this is 1984, 85.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, hey, fuck you, and he's wearing like a beret, like,
and no shirt.
He's looking like that. They started Vision Streetwear, which is their clothing line that you guys all saw, and anybody who will remember also the Vision shoes, the skating shoes that look like Converse All-Stars, except in place of the Chuck Taylor logo, there'd be Vision Streetwear, and they had a little tiny rubber ollie pad on them that made them $50 instead of $10.
And they were like velour.
They were like canvas. They were like, different. And then they had different ones, but Vision shoes got shitty later on. Airwalks were much better. We'll get into that. Anyway, so they looked at all his stuff, and Mark Gator would basically go to thrift shops and buy like surf trunks for $1.50 and like whatever. And so they said they would take all the pictures of him, and there was no continuity of style. So Vision was like, let's make him a line of clothes. Continuity of style.
Boom.
Will make him a star. So this is all feeding into his ego. Okay, this is huge. Okay. Also, Thrasher magazine, which is the big skateboarding magazine.
Everybody still wears those hoodies.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, that would be, I had skating Thrasher magazine pages ripped out up on my wall of all
Gator
these guys.
up there on your wall.
Probably not Gator by the time, because I was into the street, but we'll get into that. It's his boards were the biggest seller. Wow. I mean, by 87, he was making 15 to 20 grand a month just in deck sales. No, just decks.
Just decks.
Decks, which is just the board, not the trucks, not the
no
wheels.
It's just a
not
piece
even
of
grip
wood.
tape.
Yeah.
Piece of wood.
Wow.
He was making that, because he was making like $2 per board, and they were killing it. He had the tops. His board had like this weird, like black and white kind of like kaleidoscopy looking thing.
Like a zebra?
Gator. Kind of, but it was like kaleidoscopy in a circle, kind of trippy looking. Like if you were on mushrooms, you'd be like, "Whoa, that's pretty fucking cool," which is probably what he was on when he was doing it.
I'm looking at it right now. No shit.
Yeah,
it's like a swirl with black and white stripes. Very kaleidoscope.
He kept that for like years, and that's an iconic board. I mean, like I remember when I was a kid, people having that board, and so
pretty bizarre.
He's doing all this. He's doing tons of competitions. He's really getting into it. We get to 1986. This is kind of one of his. This is his first kind of real, like, where people started to go, "Is he out of his fucking mind?" But in the culture, this was considered cool. Okay, it's 1986.
He's skateboarding with shit that that he made in a fucking dried out pool. No, he's not out of his mind at all.
That's the other thing too. And his style. Gator is aggressive.
Yeah.
He's ballsy. He invents tricks. I mean, he's a ballsy.
He's definitely out of his fucking mind. This is before the shit was cool and just normal kids did it.
Yeah.
So you had to be out of your mind to do the shit.
Yeah, you were going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And it was scary, but he was into that. But so it's an event called Mount Trashmore. Okay, it's a huge skating event. There's just mobs of kids there. Sure. Mobs. And like they're throwing like stickers out and like there's riots over a sticker, like a t-shirt. These kids are crazy. They're all like punk rock kids. And
Vision Streetwear patch for your jean jacket.
Like, they're going crazy, jumping on each other. Gator is late for the event. He drives up to the gate, doesn't have his credentials on him, wristbands and shit, but he's like up in like 5 minutes to skate. It's his turn. So he's like, look, I got to get in there. I don't have my stuff. They're like, look, we don't know who the hell you are. He's like, I'm Gator. I got to go. And they're like, no, we can't let you by. And he just barrels through.
Wow.
Drives his car through. They follow him.
Yeah.
He thinks these are security guards, allegedly, from what he said. These are police officers, not security guards. They stop him when he pulls up to where he was going. They confront him. They're messing around. They tell him, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. He socks one of the cops.
Oh, my God.
Punches one of the cops. The kids go batshit because their skater just punched a cop, which in the mid-'80s.
And they're
like, he was like, no, you don't get any more rebellious action. Because the cops are always messing with skaters. Too. As a kid, you were like, fucking leave us alone.
And by the way, the dried out pools were not just like what we have now where there's like a skate park on every corner that's sponsored by the city.
Yeah.
These were in abandoned houses.
Yeah, they would go from yard to yard.
And it's breaking and entering. It's trespassing. You're not supposed to be there.
No.
This is
a lot
rule
of times,
breaking.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times they would just be like a neighborhood ramp and all the kids would go there and it was like people were allowed to go
These
in
are
and out.
punk kids.
They're punks. Yeah. The whole thing we're doing is so, I mean.
That's the idea.
He does that. They arrest him, stuff him in the police car.
Yeah.
Fucking kids go crazy because they're having
there's a bunch of punks.
They wanted to watch him skate too.
Yeah.
Like you're taking our
You're
favorite
taking
guy
the
away.
Star away from why we came here.
Yeah, and it's like,
and we hate cops anyway.
It's not good. Yeah, so he punches him. It's amazing. So I mean, there's a bunch of other skaters. I got this out of this documentary. There's a whole bunch of other skaters that they just recall all sorts of times he punched cops. Like there's this time in North Carolina, boy, I don't know what the hell he was doing there. He punched a cop. Like this is a normal thing for Gator. Gator Rogowski is a lunatic. And it's much like Eddie Johnson. Like you can tell by the way a guy plays, the way he lives, they said. It's like that. You can tell by the way a guy skates recklessly.
Absolutely.
Whereas like Tony Hawk is like Iceman in Top Gun, like he's, you know what I mean? Like he is fucking Maverick, man. This guy's all over the place.
He's just he's a loose cannon.
Way less gay though. This guy is definitely not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's completely fine, but it's just not him. Okay. So the next month too, like Thrasher ran a picture of him being arrested, so people were like, he was like a bigger cult hero. Because they're like, he got arrested for punching the cop. Yeah, kids were like, did you see Gator punch the cop? Like every skater in the world.
It's like the Johnny Cash of skateboarding.
Yeah, he's going. I mean, we get to like 1987. Gator is quoted as saying, and this will come up later because he apparently needed to skate. We'll just say that. He called it, quote, let's see. Oh, we should just in their own words.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
fire up the music.
Okay. Gator said he called skating a quote, a way to take out aggression instead of breaking a bottle and slashing someone's face.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, but we'll get
There's
later.
nothing in my life that I do instead of slashing people's faces.
No, I think it's this.
I don't think
guys.
that
You're saving us or someone's face. Anyway.
I don't think there's ever been a situation that I've ever been in where I was just like, I'm going to slash his face.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm going to break a bottle and slash.
Well, where are the bottles?
He's just got a constant itching for it, apparently. He's just itching. This is my favorite. This is a great quote from him. And this is really him in a nutshell. And you could tell he's in his element. Like, this is from an interview, like a video interview from a skate video. And he's like sitting in a like a pool chair outside. He's got a beret on, and he's looking like just smiling ear to ear, like cocky, like again Tom Cruise smile, just
like at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon gin buzz. Like,
he's just looking
thrilled.
Cool. And he says, this is a great quote. He says, "I'm one of the most blatant and outspoken jerks in the industry. It's really easy to say what you want and get away with it. You can always get a bad write-up in a gossip column, a Thrasher magazine, or Trans World and receive some kind of promotion or exposure out of it. It's great. I love getting arrested." So
that's like the long way to say any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I love getting arrested.
Yeah.
He's a wordy asshole. Yeah. Also, we'll get into that because there's a lot of quotes.
A wordy asshole.
He's a wordy asshole. Yeah. Not only that, the words he uses, you're like, you could have said that so much easier, you son of a bitch. It's
like as a comedian, you want to make it as the joke as lean as possible.
Yeah,
like,
you're going,
fucking make your statement lean.
Cut
Gator.
the fat from that, please, dude. Because all you'll see in these quotes, you're like, why do you say it like that?
Yeah, there's so many words in that. All you had to say was any publicity is good publicity.
And many skaters also from back then are like, he's kind of creepy. That's the word a lot of them use is creepy, and it fits.
It oozes through that statement.
At this point, they started noticing all these skaters. They are becoming celebrities now.
Yeah.
Like, this is no shit. They're like a big deal. They have all of these huge events where there's 5,000 to 10,000 people showing up to watch them skate.
Yeah.
For a big, like, contest or whatever the hell, just a demo. And tons of girls.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And Gator,
just poon everywhere.
We'll be posting his pictures on social media. Gator's a handsome dude back then. He's a real he's a handsome kind of rugged, dark, cool, punching cops, flipping people off. If you're like a chick that's into like the bad boy, he's your guy.
Right.
I mean, and on top of all of that, he's making
boatloads of cash,
$1 million a year, riding around
in the '80s. Yeah, as a kid that just loves to blow money, and he's
20 years old at this point.
Right.
He's 20.
He's having
got money coming out of his ass. Girls are everywhere. He's skating with all his pals that he grew up with.
Right.
Like, this is a dream. This is beautiful.
He's a Sid Vicious that doesn't have to go play gigs every weekend.
Yeah, he is.
And it's just money just coming to him.
It's amazing.
And he goes and skates a half pipe here and there.
And he's living it up, and he's doing it. And now we start to get into his personal life with, first it starts with a girl named Brittany. Okay, they went out for several years. They met in high school, so all through this, he's going out with a girl named Brittany.
Yeah.
They broke up in '87. This was like his high school girlfriend or whatever, and this is when he's like, I'm going to find me some hot girl.
Yeah.
And he finds a 15-year-old.
What the fuck?
I mean, he's 20, but still, that's a little young.
It's a bit.
He's probably 21 at this point, so we're going to say
right.
That's a little... I'm going to go ahead and stamp that not approved by Crime and Sports. 21 on 15, not approved.
Happening.
No good.
Sir, not approved.
We will not approve that behavior.
No.
So he meets a girl named Brandy McLean, okay? And this is the crux of everything, okay?
Just a big, typical 80s girl, Brandy.
Brandy McLean, blonde girl, real pretty.
Yeah.
80s girl, had like the hair, not like big, but had like the California surfer, like she was a
dirty blonde.
But she wasn't California either. She is from Tucson, Arizona.
No shit.
She's an Arizona girl.
Right.
She goes with her friend Jessica Bergston, okay? And she's going to come back big time, Jessica Bergston, so hang on to that name. That is Brandy McLean's best friend. They're in high school. They've been best friends for years. Jessica convinces Brandy to come with her to Phoenix to watch a skating contest event, whatever the hell, competition. And these two, I mean, they're 15, but they are like party girls.
Yeah.
They got fake IDs, they're drinking, they're going looking for guys. They are like...
They're trouble.
Yeah, they're trouble. These two are... you go, ooh, they're trouble.
They are trouble.
They are definitely trouble.
They are what you do not want your 15-year-old daughter to be.
No, yeah. These two, no. You don't want them to be that at all. Because they go to this thing, and the friend hooks up with Christian Hosoi. Christian Hosoi, if you remember Thrasher Magazine... Christian Hosoi had these... he was one of the guys that even after everything went to street skating, there'd still be tons of Christian Hosoi photos because he would go so high into the air.
Yeah.
The pictures would be from an angle where you couldn't even see the half pipe in the picture. He was so high, but yet there was people looking up at him. It was amazing how high this guy got. We probably will end up talking to Christian Hosoi not us talking to him, but talking about him because he did a long stint for drug trafficking and shit later. So he's a real upstanding guy also, Christian Hosoi. So this is who Jessica Bergston hooks up with. Hosoi and Jessica then introduce Gator to Brandy.
All right.
They say, hey, we should all hang out.
Hey, I know this other dude.
I know this other dude, Gator. So this girl loved him. She said it was love at first sight.
Oh, boy.
She was only 15. He continued touring, and he would like call her every day. He would send her cards. He'd send her like little gifts. He'd send her things, and then eventually
grooming
her. Eventually, he'd started flying her out on weekends to California and staying with him on the weekends. Yeah.
I mean, where the fuck are her parents? Jesus.
Where the fuck are her parents?
A 15-year-old drives from Tucson. I mean, I'm assuming she's driving.
Somebody's driving.
Somebody's illegally
Taking
driving from Tucson to
bang
Phoenix to bang a 21-year-old skater. And then he's flying her from Tucson International? What the fuck?
It's insane. She might have been... one of them's from Tucson later on. There's a Phoenix, whatever. But yeah.
One way or another, she's flying out of
flying
state.
To go to California.
Right. He's flying in underage poon.
He's flying in underage, which I'm pretty sure is a crime.
That's illegal.
I don't think you can import underage girls for reasons of sexual molestation. I don't think that's okay.
That's crossing state lines for exploitation of a minor.
But hey,
that sounded very
in the words of Gator, I love getting arrested. So it's okay. It's cool. No worries.
Oh, that hurts.
No worries. So at some point here, she's 17 years old here in like 88, early 89. He asks her to move in with him. And her quote is, well, first of all, I'm going to have to ask my mom. No shit. You're asking a 17-year-old fucking girl to go out with her. These two have a long relationship of mainly both thought they were like super good looking and they were like very much in love, but then they'd fight. Typical
Sid
party
Nancy shit, man.
Yeah, typical party people kind of relationship. But I mean, he's older, but he has the mentality of a kid, basically. I mean, he was, whatever.
He hit too early.
Not that that's any excuse for going out with a 15-year-old. I'm just saying,
but
that's why they got
early,
along. Yeah.
And he didn't have time to mature because he's got to deal with stocks and hedge funds and shit.
Yeah, at this point, he's not doing that, though. He's basically...
But you get my point. He's dealing with a lot of cash.
He's probably got it all in a shoebox, like a Vision shoebox somewhere up in his closet, and he's like, yeah, that's cool. Because he is not a smart man, as we'll see. Intelligent, yes. Smart, no.
Right.
His brother, Matt Rogowski, said that basically Gator spared no expense on Brandy. He flew her to Europe, Brazil, bought her jewelry, bought her 2 cars.
Wow.
He said that, his quote was that, she's a gold digger. She's obviously a gold digger, but when they were together, they really, really looked in love. They really, he said, you could tell they were in love, but she also loved money.
Yeah.
And that'll come up later also.
She loved the gifts.
Basically, in 87, he takes her up to this huge house. Tony Hawk, it's Fallbrook is the place. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's avocado groves.
All right.
He buys this big, weird, circular house. It's a cool house, but it's a big, weird house. And Tony Hawk bought a house up there.
All right.
Tony Hawk built a giant ramp, like a huge half pipe, and like it was like all the skaters would come there and hang out. And Rogowski here, Gator, he was going to build a big ramp at his house too, but never got to that because of other issues that came up here. At this point, he has the #1 selling board going, the #1 selling deck. He would like fly to Japan to sign autographs for a check. I mean, just to sign autographs. He'd fly over there, sign autographs, get a big fat check, fly back.
Fly the fuck back.
That's that. He was like living that kind of life.
That's a pretty sweet dream.
At this point, Brandy says of him, Mark had 2 sides. Everything would be going fine. And then he'd have his little manic freakouts and break up with me abruptly and then call me 2 weeks later saying, I love you and we're meant to be.
Yeah.
So that was the whole... and it keeps coming up with that. Manic freakouts come up later, and we'll get to why he's having manic freakouts. This is severely bipolar, undiagnosed through this time.
This is very Killer Sally and Ray relationship.
This is except they're not violent
right.
anytime. They're just like kids that are idiots and we'll find out too, they're getting shit-faced every single night. I have quotes from her just saying what they were doing, and they were just, they were living quite the life. Now, back to 87. 87, he's introduced to a guy named Bill Silva. Now, Bill Silva is starting a management company for skaters to try to put this together, really monetize this, make it a big business, not just boards and T-shirts. So he starts the Swatch Impact Tour, the most late 80s event in the history of the world. The Swatch Impact. And that's the other thing, too. Gator, in his interviews, he'd have, 3 swatches on up his arm. He was the guy wearing 3 swatches. You're like, holy shit, like a bright green one, a pink one, and a blue one. You're like, you asshole.
Gross.
But that's cool in the 80s. So,
shit, yeah.
They're doing all this. And at this point, too, in 88, He's on Club MTV. Remember Club MTV with Downtown Julie Brown, the English.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a party, dance party. Well, they had like little ramps set up, like little quarter pipes.
Yeah.
And they had Gator skating around.
And he'd just be sitting
on
there
them.
skating back and forth.
And then she'd be like, "I'm here with my main man, James and Rogowski," and they'd be, "I'm sorry."
Listen,
England.
You said you couldn't do impressions. You
Sorry,
just did
England.
a solid one. That one was pretty good.
I'm never gonna say I can do them, but yeah, that's Downtown Julie Brown, and so he was
here
on
with
that.
my main man.
I'm here with my main man. So she. I think I'm better just a Downtown Julie Brown, not an English person.
You're
Only
a good
her.
one with that one.
Only one English person I can do. That's it. And it's funny too. Like he's doing like the skate videos and stuff, and she's like appearing in them. Brandy's in all the videos with him.
Sure.
Brandy also in '89. This is later. We'll skip ahead for a second, but he's in Gleaming the Cube with Christian Slater,
kidding.
the
He was
skate
in
movie.
that?
He's one of the stunt doubles in that, along with like Mike McGill and a whole bunch of other guys. I can't remember who, but I think it was just about everybody.
in
Lance
that
Mountain,
movie.
all those guys. He's in that movie. He's the guy in the Free Fallin' video. He's the skateboarder in the Free Fallin' video, and Brandy is also in the Free Fallin' video.
Is she the girl?
She's not the girl.
Is he the one that she?
But she's like hanging around him.
That's awesome.
So they're both in the Free Fallin' Tom Petty video where he's skating. That's him.
I'm actually remembering that where he's like jumping off the side of the ramp, and I feel like there's a girl there like jumping up and down.
That's her.
That's probably
that's
her.
Brandy.
Yeah,
blonde girl, real pretty, short hair, like poofy.
Yeah,
that's her.
I feel like
I pull up the video. We could be totally wrong in imagining it.
I feel like I'm getting it right through though.
Me too. He starts getting weird at this point. This is when before this he was like a rebel skater. I'm going to do my fucking moves and fuck the police and all this shit.
And now he's selling out.
This is when he becomes like this, like it's like if you've ever seen the Major League movies. In Major League 2, like Charlie Sheen's got a suit on and he's like, "Hey, I can't be like seen." Like that's what he's doing now. He's like really acting super corporate and like worried about
Hollywood
marketing.
movies.
Yeah, they said like he would study marketing. He was real into the marketing, which is great.
Yeah.
But you're a skater and you're supposed to have like this badass image. You're not supposed to be like Ira Bergstein, marketing/accounting specialist. Like it's not. You're fucking Mark Gator Rogowski. Get out there, punch a cop, flip around in the goddamn air, split your head open, and try again. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Try the 760, dickhead.
Yeah, let's see what you can do.
Or 740.
Pop that McTwist and see what happens. There we go. So, I mean, friends started to notice this, that he was very famous, and he was like, "I'm famous," and he was really living that fame shit up. There's this, I think he's British or Australian. I couldn't tell, honestly, by his accent because he was a little diluted by living in the States, I think.
Right.
But a skater named Billy Smith talks about how, like, he had, like, idolized Gator. And, like, he came over and he finally met him. He's like, "Oh, man, he had this image built up of him." And he saw him and he was just like, I was just blown away by what a dick he was. He was like, "Wow, what a dick." Like, he was just a dick.
You're shocked?
Nobody likes him. 1988 comes around. He does a completely douchey move. He changes his name.
Oh my God!
From Gator Mark Rogowski to Gator Mark Anthony.
What the shit?
He was trying to have a modeling career at this point too, and I think that had something to do with it. He says it's because he hates his dad, and why the hell should he carry his dad's name? So he used his middle name or whatever.
You're trying to join a union. There's already a Mark Rogowski.
There's already a Mark Rogowski. He's like, yeah. So, that
would have been a much better reason than I hate my dad.
It was just at one month in a Thrasher magazine or a Trans World, like there was just his picture and it said Gator Mark Anthony instead of, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?
Who is that asshole?
Who's Mark Anthony? What's going on?" So like all the skaters at the time were like, "What the hell is wrong with him? Why is he changing his name? You're Mark Rogowski. Who cares? Like just skate."
And is Anthony his middle name? Is that what we said?
I think is his middle name, yeah. And at this point, too, he starts doing these awful commercials for Vision Skateboard where he's like, they're just cheesy and shitty. And I remember
Downfall.
As a kid being like, that's not cool. Like, that's lame. Like, there's this one skater named Ed Templeton that's interviewed on here. I had his board. And he says the same thing. Like, he's like, I saw those. They were just so lame. And they were. And so... Anyway, he's like dancing and shit on them. It's really weird.
Oh boy!
Everyone's calling him a sellout. At this point, too, Vision became very lame. Like they weren't cool anymore. They didn't make any good boards. Their clothes were lame.
Mark out. He just aged too much.
It was just it went like that. Yeah. Like because at this point, skating changes.
All right.
And this is very key to what happens with Mark Anthony and the snapping that he has here. Skating changes. There's all these little companies popping up,
Yeah.
Vision was still stuck on ramp skating.
Yeah.
There's ramp skating and there's street skating.
Yeah.
Okay, ramp skating is Tony Hawk doing flips in the air, coming
Yeah.
back and forth on a half pipe. For people who don't know, that's vert skating. It's called. It's vert on the ramp.
Right.
Then in like 89, 90, street skating got really huge. When I was a kid, that's what we did because none of us had fucking ramps, but we had curbs and benches
Kick
and
flips
shit
and grinding.
Shit you could go grind on, and that's what you did. So at this point, that became the thing.
Yeah.
And Tony Hawk and Mike McGill, a couple of those guys survived it.
You know why? It's because when people are traveling throughout the city, there doesn't happen to be a fucking half pipe on the street.
And also, it's because kids everywhere. One of the skaters says, kids in Iceland, they don't have a pool over there they can skate.
And you can't just build some shit.
They have a bench.
Right.
They have a curb.
Right.
You know, that's
all there.
So that's universal.
Right.
So
it's convenient.
It is. And for like kids who didn't have a lot of money either, you didn't need money for that.
I don't have to send my dad to Home Depot and get a fucking level and figure out how to make a fucking a ramp.
Oh, I would have killed myself.
Yeah.
If I tried. My father
bend a 2x4. Go fuck yourself. I'll break it.
If I asked my father to build me a ramp, he would have. What are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not building you a ramp. Get out of here. What's wrong with you? Go ride around on the street. He would have said, "Go ride around on the street." I was, okay. So I didn't ask my dad to build me a ramp. Maybe he would have. Maybe he would have been like, "Sure, let's get out there."
Let's do it. Let's bond.
I highly doubt it, though. I don't think that would have happened. I think he would have been like, you know what? The Giants game's on. I don't think I'm going to do this now. So at this point, Gator starts trying to street skate. This is the turning point.
Oh no!
This is when it goes from everything's great.
Yeah.
This is where we start to go back down the slide of the hill, and shit starts getting real interesting real fast here. Starts trying to street skate. I saw painful videos of him, like when he first started to do it. Anybody seen the Jerry Seinfeld comedian documentary? When he starts trying to do his first 5 minutes back from doing stand-up, and it's all fresh, and he doesn't remember it, and he's looking for the paper, and like some English lady's making him look like an asshole in the crowd, just heckling him, and he doesn't know how to do it.
So is this your first time?
Is this your first time? He's like, yes, it is. This is what this is for him. He's having trouble just ollieing up on a curb and grinding on it. He's falling, and he's like, fuck, and he's throwing his skateboard, like flinging his board into a parking lot. He can't do it. He's so goddamn pissed off, but he keeps trying. Yeah, because he couldn't make any money.
Yeah.
He said, like, at this point, he was starting to get less and less pictures in the magazines.
Yeah.
He said this is his quote on it, quote in their own words. Vert skating was losing popularity. My photo coverage in all the magazines was getting less and less. I felt invisible, not being the big skate star anymore. It was a major life transition, a crisis time for me.
Jesus.
So, I mean, his whole image is going downhill.
So verbose.
Yeah, and like kids on the street are kind of laughing at him.
Yeah.
He's out there trying to skate, and they're like 12-year-old kids that are better than him at this because that's what they
asshole,
started
didn't
doing.
You used to jump?
And they're laughing at this guy like, who's this old fart? He's like 23. They're like, who's this old fart trying to fucking grind that can't even... I mean, that's what skating is.
That's awesome.
The Tony... I mean, everybody thinks of Tony Hawk. He's it. There are no other Tony Hawks.
Right.
And there's guys that like stay in the scene, like Lance Mountain, I think, is still out there. He's been out there since the 80s.
Right.
I don't know if Mike McGill's still out there or not, but like there's a few of these guys. But I mean, for the most part, you have like a 3-year career.
Yeah.
In skating, I mean, look at like Jason Lee was a big street skater.
Right.
He's a movie star
now. He does movies,
because
right.
that's a very small window.
Because he wrote Mallrats.
He was smart. Yeah, he didn't. Kevin Smith wrote it. He was in it.
Right.
He was terrible in that fucking movie.
He was. It's not a great
It was when he
movie.
just started acting. We'll give him a break. I think he still sucks, but that's beside the point.
Right.
He's dancing.
Now he's doing
Chipmunks
Alvin,
like a
right?
dipshit.
Fucking chipmunks.
Fucking that. But
I got
that's how
kids.
mainstream he got
Right.
from being a scummy little street skater.
Right.
Jason Lee is now like, oh, Alvin, come on! And there's
Yeah.
kids paying there's $100 million worth of kid receipts at the box office for this shit.
And he's living a happy life.
Now Mark is starting to withdraw. Gator's starting to withdraw. He's like in his house. Brandy says he doesn't want to go hang out with the other skaters at Tony Hawk's house. He's like, they just play Nintendo and jerk off. He wanted to like stay and like write music and poems and shit. And he was like liking being isolated. Brandy said that he liked her being isolated up there.
Of course.
He liked her. He didn't like her talking to other guys.
Keep her to himself.
Yeah, he's got a hot little piece of ass up there in his mind. He's like, hey, I got this 18-year-old girl.
Right.
I don't want her talking to anybody else.
No.
She's going to go, especially because his confidence was way down.
He knows it's going away. And
yeah.
Once the money and the career goes away, so do the girls.
And he was very much kept everyone at arm's length. Here's a quote from Tony Hawk. He said, I never felt that you could get close to him. that he would let a lot of people get that close to him. So it's like you'd know him, but then he would go.
See, that's the difference
away.
between Tony Hawk and his mind of being successful, is that he can get a thought out in 2 sentences.
That's
and
it.
you're like, I totally get it.
I get
this
what you're
fucking
doing.
asshole
This fucking
goes
asshole,
on and on
no.
and on.
So, I mean, at this point, Brandy, he's very jealous. At this point, they sell the house. Tony Hawk sells his house, too.
Yeah.
They're both just going nuts out there. Hawk said his ramp started falling apart. They had to get the fuck out of there. So they moved to Carlsbad. He buys a sweet condo, Gator, block from the beach in Carlsbad.
It's a beautiful place to be.
It's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Brandy moves in with him. They're partying like crazy at this point. I mean, they're having a good fucking time. Brandy says of this, they partied at bars every night. She said, quote, "We would get high every night. We wouldn't do coke every night, but we'd do bong hits and then go to the bar at the end of the street and get fucked up." Capital fucked. That's why I said that. Then we'd hang out in his jacuzzi and get drunk off our asses and have wild sex all night.
She's a party.
She's a party, and he's living a fun life right now. He's getting wasted every night, banging this girl in his jacuzzi. He's having a great fucking time. And this is when he starts having some anger problems. Yeah. He's drinking. Brandy always says he drank to control his rage because he's a very rageful guy.
Now he's getting frustrated.
And now it really builds up. In 1989 in Sydney, Australia, he goes over there. Basically, he starts acting really weird. He gets real close with a personal trainer, starts getting nutty about his diet. Right. Somebody said he freaked out because they didn't have fresh broccoli for him somewhere. And he's like, how the fuck? Like, he lost his mind.
Only person on earth that wants broccoli.
And these are skaters. They're all like, have a cheeseburger.
Like,
who gives a shit? Like, they're not eating broccoli, these guys.
Drink a 40 and have 2 cheeseburgers.
They moved out of their parents' house when they were 14, these kids. They're not eating broccoli. He's losing it. On tour, the management company here, the Bill Silva guy, they keep getting calls saying Mark Anthony is acting like a crazy person. We'll just call him Gator because he's got too many. But he's acting like a crazy person. He's being a dick to everybody. He's like throwing boards at kids that are bothering him. Now it happens. He does days of demos and he's tired and pissy. Some kid comes up to him. He wants an autograph. Gator tells him to fucking beat it.
Piss off,
listen,
kid.
Scram. Kid's like, come on, come on, come on. Gator punches him.
Great.
A kid. Not cool.
No.
This is in front of a huge crowd.
Did his dad see it?
No, but this is in front of a huge crowd. Yeah. And Australia is not that big of a country. This got around. His board, they said his sales dropped like 90% in a month in Australia. The whole continent just abandoned him. All you gotta do is
punch a kid.
One kid, because it was out. Yeah, they fucking hated him. That's the one incident. Now we get to where he's really starting to get dangerous. 1989, they go to West Germany. This is not good. They're in with the Vision team for a World Cup event. I don't know if it's for the soccer World Cup or there's some sort of skateboarding World Cup.
He's like the second worst thing to happen to Germany.
Second worst. Second worst. He gets shit-faced like he does all the time. He's party hopping. He's sloshed, gets hammered on Jaeger.
Oh, boy.
Climbs up a terrace to the hotel.
Yeah.
Up for some reason, falls off onto a wrought iron fence.
Oh my God!
Somehow doesn't die, but he is destroyed.
Is he impaled?
Oh, torn apart. His arm, his hand. I saw pictures of his reattached his thumb, his finger, his neck. It went into.
Oh my God!
Somehow didn't kill him. He had to go through a shitload of plastic surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one of the Vision guys that was tour manager. Like he just came knocking on his hotel room door and he said there was blood just pouring.
I'm
out.
sure there was.
His quote was, "It sounded like someone was pouring a water on the floor." That's how much blood. I
love it.
He freaks out in the ambulance on people. Like, they get him in the ambulance. He's torn to pieces. He's freaking out on them, punching paramedics and shit. He's a lunatic.
Just trying to close these holes, Gator. Chill out.
Didn't know a thing. Wakes up the next morning in the hospital. He goes, the fuck am I doing here?
Oh, my God.
Doesn't remember a goddamn thing.
That wasted.
What happened to me? Why am I all chopped up?
He got in a fight with the Gator.
He got in a fight. That's what it looked like. Yeah. He got in a fight with a Gator. 1990 comes around, and he becomes a born-again Christian.
Oh, God.
This is when shit starts getting weird.
Oh, God.
He becomes a born-again Christian, starts putting, Christian logos on his boards and, shit like that. Real weird.
Christian logos. There's only one, right? It's just that cross, right?
Yeah. I mean,
he's got crosses on it. Crosses on the caps of his wheels, and he's spinning crosses.
Jesus fishes. Jesus fish with
God.
Some weird slogan inside it.
No.
This is his quote from the time. It wasn't until I found Christ or converted that I really began to set an honest look. Who talks like that?
Unbelievable.
Sorry. It wasn't until I found Christ or converted that I really began to set an honest look at myself, look at how screwed up I was inside, how lonely I was, how dissatisfied I was with my life and career. I wanted to escape all the meaninglessness of my image. That's his quote. So he's acting
I took a good look in the mirror. That's it. All those goddamn words.
This is what he does.
Oh, God.
He's a fucking loon.
Yeah.
And he takes this, it's a guy, Augie Costantino, and he's going to come up again and again.
I know that name.
He is the guy, he's a surfer who was in some accident earlier and severed his leg muscles and couldn't surf anymore, so he became a Jesus freak.
Oh, boy.
And he's trying to convert all the surfers and skaters.
And he's helping him.
And he converts Gator here.
Oh, boy.
So now Gator's going around trying to get kids into
they
Jesus.
They both have that moment where they're hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With he's got the gate and he's got his whatever he had.
And they're going around.
So they bond over that.
And they're trying to convert kids to Jesus.
No.
And the kids just want to meet Gator.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, that's Gator.
You're that psychopath.
And he's like, hey, let me tell you about Christ. And they're like, we were going to ask if you wanted to go skate that ramp. But what are you talking about?
Is that ramp named Christ?
Yeah, what are you talking about? But some kids he was getting because they just wanted to hang out with Gator.
Yeah.
He would go places with the Bible in his hand, and all of his friends were like, "What the fuck is this guy?" The
worst.
They're like, they've been partying with this guy for years, and like, what gimmick is this bullshit?
Yeah.
One of his friends said, "Yeah, he was fanatic about it, but that's just it. He was fanatic about everything. That was Gator. I mean, it was just that he was there.
He's a fanatic about Coke too.
He was super fanatic about alcohol before this, and now he's putting that focus into Christ.
All the energy he had from skating and Coke and booze and put it right into God.
He would make Brandy go hang out with Augie and the other Christians and make her hang out with the weird Christian girls where she just
youth life.
Yeah, she said they were like super weird.
Of course.
And they were like, not like her at all because she's like a party girl. He wanted to settle down at this point. He told her that he couldn't, they couldn't have sex anymore.
Oh boy.
Unless they got married.
That ain't gonna do it.
And so she said, okay, I'm gonna go fuck a surfer guy then. So she went and found a surfer guy.
See that guy in that wetsuit? I'm gonna go get his dick.
So she did. She found some nice surfer guy, and according to her, I mean, this seems like a nice time for her. Like she meets this guy. By all accounts, from what she says, this was a great relationship she had with him, the guy's family. She was a dream for her. She was loving it. Gator didn't like it. He was jealous.
Yeah.
He would stalk her.
Oh boy.
He said that he was believing in the patriarchal things in the Bible. That's why he was doing this, is what he told her.
Boy.
He would call her house threateningly, growl into the phone, call her a
patriarch.
cunt. Very biblical shit. Very biblical. Very Old Testament. Some Old Testament shit right here.
Call her a cunt.
He would call her a cunt.
Jesus.
I believe that's in the Bible.
I believe
it's
think
Leviticus.
Jesus said that.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Thou shalt be a cunt if thou hooks up with a surfer. I believe is what it says.
Jesus called the Romans that as they stabbed him in the ribs.
I think that's what yes. Cunt. And he went down. That'd be great because that'd be really mainstream at that point. So
I might buy in.
I would buy in at that point. So he's stalking her, tracking her down, called her at the boyfriend's mother's house. He didn't have that number. He tracked her. It's really creepy. Who knows if he's hiring investigators, but he won't have money for that long because he files Chapter 11 bankruptcy very soon.
Oh, boy.
Because he's not making any money skating anymore.
Surprise.
Because he's a shit street skater.
Because he's focusing all his time chasing down this ex-girlfriend.
Broke into her parents' house and stole back everything he'd ever given her.
What the fuck?
Everything, including a car.
Jesus
Everything.
Christ.
And kept leaving messages. And the father, the parents are obviously like freaked out by this. He convinces, let's start fresh.
Yeah.
Let's not do this. Everything's going to be fine, he says. Let's go out to dinner.
Great idea.
Let's do it.
Sure, let's.
Ray Caruth ringing in my head.
Yeah.
Let's go out to dinner. But Brandy
from the favela, sir?
Brandy does, sir, you don't have any dogs, do you?
You got a cousin in the back of your car?
Okay. So Brandy, just to let you know, she survives this trip.
Right.
Brandy is fine now.
Right.
Brandy, I've seen her. She's good now. So Brandy's alive and well. This has nothing to do with Brandy. There's another girl who does not have quite as good of a fate. It's quite as good a luck as Brandy does. They go out. They go out to dinner. On the way back, Mark drives away from her parents' house in the middle of nowhere, and he tells her I should just beat you and leave you in the fucking desert. Everybody will know you deserve it, and blah blah blah. And she starts freaking out. She's like, "Take me home, take me home.
Yeah.
My mother knows I'm with you. My parents know I'm with you. You got to take me home. I'm gonna call the cops if I don't come home." And
you're going to jail if you do this.
So he takes her home. He's like, "Good point."
Yeah.
Basically,
touche, you win.
She is so scared of him. This is so shaking that she moves to New York just to hide from him for a while. Just strictly for hiding.
Go to the other coast.
Only told her parents where she was going. Didn't tell her friends. Didn't tell anyone, including her friend Jessica Bergston.
Oh, boy.
Who really could have used this information. Really, really bad. Because Jessica, at this point, right around this time, exactly around this time, moves from Tucson to San Diego for a job. She has no friends. She doesn't know anybody. She's a party girl. She wants to go find a scene. Number. She has Gator's number.
Oh, God.
Who do you think she calls? Gator.
Gator.
No idea about how he's been acting, his violence, that he just filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Have you heard about Brandy? Where's she at?
That's the thing. It's so crazy. So she calls Mark on the 20th of March, 1991.
All right.
Says, hey, can you maybe show me around San Diego, introduce me to some people? He says, yeah, sure. Yeah. They go out to lunch. They get along real well. He's like, great, cool. They rent some movies. This is back when you rented a movie. They rent some movies. They get a few bottles of wine.
Have you seen Gleaming the Cube?
Have you seen Gleaming the Cube? I'm awesome in it. Free Falling's my favorite song. He's that egotistical. That's probably what he said. You seen Gleaming the Cube? You like Christian Slater? He's all right.
I met him.
I met him
a couple of
Sucks
times.
at skating, let me tell you.
Very bad.
It was all bullshit. So anyway, they get a couple bottles of wine, some movies. They go back to his condo.
Good place to be.
They're having a good time. They're talking, whatever. Gets late.
It's beautiful.
It's 2:30 in the morning or so. And she says, okay, I got to take off now. He says, okay, that's fine. I can't find my driver's license. I'm going to go run out to my car and see if it's in the car. She's like, oh, okay, I'll wait in here. Because he couldn't find it and he wanted to drive her home, but he wanted a driver's license to do it. So he's like, okay. Goes out, comes back in with his driver's license and the club. You remember the club that you put on the steering wheel? And people would, I guess, steal your car anyway?
Big red thing you saw through the steering wheel and take it off.
Let's be honest. If you parked your car in the middle of South Bronx in the 80s with that thing on...
It's disappearing.
8 Puerto Ricans will have that off in 4 seconds. But apparently it is good for beating women over the head with.
Oh, Jesus.
She's looking at his pictures on the mantle. He comes up behind her and starts bludgeoning her with this club. It's like a
It's an anti-theft device. It has 2 hooks on it, and
it's like a light metal.
Right.
It's
it's
not
aluminum.
Light though.
It's
aluminum, but it's pretty beefy.
It's dense.
It's dense. Yeah.
And you put it onto the steering wheel, and then you have a key on it that unlocks it. It extends and goes through the middle of the steering wheel.
So it won't turn.
So you can't turn the car. Yeah. So you can't steal the car.
So, yeah.
They were very popular in the early 90s, mid-90s. Anyway, they're heavy enough that if you hit somebody, you can bash their fucking head in.
Yeah, and he says about this, he said, everything I hated about Brandy, I hated about Jessica. She was of the same mold Brandy was of. Who the fuck talks like that, you asshole? But that was his quote of her.
She reminded me of Brandy. That's what he just tried to say.
Yeah. She was just like Brandy, and I thought Brandy was a bitch, so I killed her. Right. That's it.
Brandy's a cunt, she's a cunt. That's why I killed her.
That's it. So... I mean, she's semi-conscious on the floor. He beat her several times in the head. This wasn't one blow. God. She's bleeding all over the floor. He takes her upstairs into the bedroom, handcuffs her to the bed.
Yeah.
Then he rapes her for 3 hours.
Logical next step.
3 hours?
Jesus.
I mean, that's a lot of raping.
Likely with the club.
Dude, at this point with this guy, who the fuck knows
what
the
a
rage.
Monster.
This is all based in Brandy.
He saw red. I'll bet he doesn't even remember doing it.
Oh, he does. He remembers all of it. It comes up.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
He remembers the whole thing.
He said that his quote was, quote, Jessica didn't deserve what happened to her. I let my pain out on her, even though she was innocent. We went and partied, and around 2:30 or 3, this weird impulse just took off. I suddenly just snapped and lost control. All this rage just came out. That was his quote.
He's so loquacious. Says the same shit over. Talks in circles. He's such a fucking verbose dick.
This girl's like a very thin girl, too. Like, it didn't take a lot. Yeah. She's 5'8", 115.
All he had to do is punch her.
Extremely thin. So, yeah, it's horrible. So he rapes her for 3 hours. He's beating her, too. I mean, it's horrible. Of course. At one point, he says she's making too much noise, and he's worried about the neighbors.
She's crying, bro.
So
Jesus.
He stuffs her into a surfboard bag to see if that would help. Fuck? That didn't help, so he went in and strangled her.
Jesus.
And that was his... Yeah, he strangles her. Now he's got a dead girl.
Yeah.
There's fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, oh, shit. Shit's getting real now. The wine buzz is probably starting to wear off. He's like, uh-oh, what do I do now? takes all of her stuff, takes the club, throws it all in the trunk of his car, drives 2 hours out to the middle of the desert. I mean, this is like some gangster shit.
Yeah.
Like Joe Pesci does this in Casino. Like, that's what he's doing. He drives out to the desert. Drives her way out there, dumps her off 2 hours, then buries her in a shallow grave. I mean, he's got a shovel, too, at this point. He's burying her in a shallow grave, naked body, takes her clothes, bloody clothes, and the club, and dumps it out the window along the way home.
Good God.
I mean, he's fucking nuts at this point. Goes back to his house.
Trying to cover everything up.
Yeah. That morning, because it was like the morning by the time he got back, he rented a carpet cleaner, took it home, got all the blood stains out, flipped the mattress over.
At what point does he pray for this?
Yeah, everything's cool. And then he went and studied the Bible for a while, probably. So he does all this. The body is found a couple weeks later by campers in the desert.
As they try to put a campfire together, probably.
Yeah, it's probably. And so they see something sticking out, whatever. It's like, like in Serial, when somebody saw a thing. So
does it say club on her forehead?
Is that club? Holy shit, wow. I've been thinking about getting one of those. Do they work? Because my neighborhood's kind of bad. Oh, wait a second. Back to the dead girl. Yeah. So, body's found by campers. They don't know who it is. She's in a month in the desert. She's like,
she's bloated.
I saw a picture. It's skeleton.
Yeah.
No, not bloated.
Really?
Skeletal, man.
It's
skeletal.
already over.
They were managed to get one print partial out of her, and they found her that way. She was a skeleton. It was insane. Like
Takes
the head.
No time at all.
It was gross. So, he tells so the missing posters go up right away. He tells the Augie Constantino that he did this. There's a poster of her up at 7-Eleven where they're preaching to kids. Mark sees a girl go by that's she's got like no clothes on basically. He goes, "Hey, why don't you go put some clothes on and then come back so I can tell you about Christ?" Which is a hell of a fucking opener right there. "Hey, listen, honey, why don't you put a few clothes on and come back here? I'll give you a little something about the Lord if you know what I'm talking about." What a jackass, right?
Tell you about the Corinthians. You put a sweater on, you dirty bitch.
She said, "I have no problems. I'm cool." And he said, "Oh, yeah? Well, that's probably what this girl thought," is what Augie said, and pointed to her. And he said Mark got real weird at that point. And was like, "Hey, what?" He got weird.
Take it easy, y'all.
And then he said, told Augie, "Oh, by the way, I killed that girl." And the guy was like, "Okay." Now this Augie guy is a complete asshole. This is good, but he has Mark turn himself in.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine. But the problem is he drives him to the police station. Also, too, Mark had just signed a deal, not for a lot of money, but with a new, like he was trying to get into the new companies. Yeah. Fish Lips was the name of the company.
I've heard of that.
And they had like a 7-Eleven-ish logo, if you remember that.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, so I mean, he could have.
By the way, Augie, you're so dead on. By the way,
yeah,
that's amazing.
So they're driving to the police station, and this is what Constantino told him: "Quote, Mark, you don't need a lawyer. Bad advice, number one.
Yeah.
Yes, you fucking do. Yeah. You don't need innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
What do you need a lawyer for if you answer to a higher power?
Wow.
Okay. If a person is accountable to God, he's accountable to society. The Bible says that."
Jesus Christ.
And then they asked this Augie guy if they thought it was unethical to, turn someone in who came to them like as a minister.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, he came to me more as a friend, and I'm not ordained anyway, so he knew it was going to happen." What the fuck is that? Like, this guy's a complete asshole. I'm not an ordained
I'm not asking
or anything.
Augie shit.
I
want no advice from him
Augie.
ever.
Augie's a douchebag.
Anything Augie tells me, I'm doing the exact fucking opposite.
I would agree with that. That is good.
Christ.
At this point, he's in jail. Kids, they don't know whether he did it or not.
Yeah.
He goes in and confesses, but then recants it later on because whatever.
Because he finally talks to a lawyer.
Yeah, because he talks to a lawyer and goes, "Oh, wow, God doesn't run the court system. Oh, hey, can I speak to God? Oh, there is none? I better get a lawyer then."
Yeah. Is Jesus the warden?
I was told Jesus would be cool with this. No? Are we not? No? Fuck, is he not here tonight?
Are there any of the disciples? Anybody I could talk to?
So some kids are putting free Mark Anthony stickers on shit.
Oh, Jesus.
And then other ones are having stickers that say, "Skateboarding is not a crime," if you remember that old sticker. It says, "Skateboarding is not a crime. Murder is. Mark Anthony should die." So those are the two.
I like that sticker better.
That's a better sticker.
That one's very, very, very apropos, too, because it's
perfect.
so many words.
It's perfect. It's a long sticker. That's like
a big fucking sticker.
It's perfect for him and his long-winded horseshit. Yeah. It's almost like he wrote it. Maybe I'll put out stickers and I'll make a little dough off of that. The Vista District Attorney's Office, Terry Jensen, this guy says, here you have a situation where it's a young kid that's never been dumped before and it was devastating to him. Consequently, he made some bad choices.
Whoopsie.
I would call that a very bad, that's more than a bad choice. That'd be like he, drove drunk one night and crashed into a pole and, hey, he made some bad choices.
He's like Hubie Brownstone and Eddie Johnson. That he's just, you're going to have to choose between your career.
Calm it down, man. So, the trial goes on. Hard Copy, remember Hard Copy, the terrible show in the 90s, overdramatic bullshit? They did a dramatic reenactment of the rape murder.
Good God.
On television.
And put it in prime time.
Yeah, they're like, look at this. This is that guy. He was probably like skating around the room while he did it. They probably
How's
really
our budget?
Can
we get a real club or do we got to get a knockoff?
Shit, yeah, we're going to have to get a knockoff. So at this point, too, Gator's in jail sending postcards to his friends saying the truth will come out, God will show my innocence and shit like that. In an interview, he did a bunch of interviews at this point, and he said that he thought it was kinky sex gone bad. That's what he said it was. He said they were choking each other, and she just died, and he freaked out and didn't know what to do. Because you're choking someone, you're like, shit, I better bury her in the desert. I better not try to revive her or call an ambulance.
How are you right now? Hold on, let me run to the car and get my club.
Yeah, hold on, wait a second. This is going to be hot.
I'm going to give you something you never had before.
Oh, my God. He's charged under this is 1992 now, in January. He's charged with special circumstances because it was murder with rape attached to it. So that makes you eligible for the death penalty or life without parole in the state of California at this point.
Way to go, California.
His complete pile of shit attorney, John Jimenez, this guy just seemed like such a shyster on TV when I saw him. He just looked, oh my God, I wouldn't hire this guy to fucking make me a sandwich.
He's an ambulance chaser and he's got a murder trial.
Complete douchebag. He challenges the confession. Also tries to appeal the rape charge, saying that there's no evidence that shows it was forcible sex.
Holy
was
shit.
Eventually dismissed because they were like, yeah, the evidence of her being bludgeoned and put in a hole says possibly it was forcible. Maybe.
I don't think she allowed that.
Let's just keep it up. Let's just give us the benefit of the doubt that it was forcible at this point. Ends up pleading guilty after a couple. But once the death penalty thing's on the table, I think he starts seeing shit a little more realistically.
You better start talking about a plea deal.
He sees Jesus isn't coming to help him anytime soon. He's like, I better fucking plead guilty. Submits a 4-page confession, details everything, takes the cops to the burial site,
Is that right?
Prove he knew where it was. They look all around his house. He got all the bloodstains out of the carpet, but they cut up his carpet. It was soaked into the subflooring. They picked that up.
Luminol, motherfucker.
Yeah, they showed I saw the luminol pictures. It was everywhere.
Unbelievable.
All over the place. Anyway, even on the carpet, but there was blood actually in the subflooring, in the wood. He ends up pleading guilty. He blames himself for the whole act, saying it was because he had sex outside of marriage and he was a bad Christian. So he was trying to say still it was kinky sex gone bad. He did it, but this is God punishing him for not being a good Christian. Which
you aren't a good Christian. Now kill her and you're going to jail.
Yeah, which the punishment hasn't started yet, asshole. Let's start that. The problem here at this point, now they have him, and now he's pleading guilty, and now all of his friends are like, he told all of his friends he didn't do this. Right. So all the people in the skating community, a lot of them supported him and shit like that.
Yeah.
And now they're like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, we were supporting you.
Right.
Free Mark Anthony sticker.
Right.
And now you're just saying you did it? You were sending me postcards.
We're skating half pipes in your honor. What the fuck, man? We could be grinding a bench right now.
Oh, it's crazy. It's so crazy. So they're having... It's a huge deal. And so he just says, fuck it. He goes to jail. He did this. He killed... and he says it straight out. He killed his girlfriend's best friend to get back at his girlfriend. Yeah. Like, who the fuck does that?
That's a hell of a way to get back at her.
Dude, and they weren't even, really talking much anymore.
You already stole everything back from her. I think you've gotten back at her.
You know Brandy, don't you?
You took her car, bro.
Yeah. You know Brandy, don't you?
It's time to die.
I think I'm going to club you. What do you think of that?
With a club.
With a
legit club.
God damn it. So, yeah, he turns himself... At least he turned himself in at that point.
Yeah,
whatever.
No doubt.
During sentencing, there is he's sentenced in the end here. He's sentenced. He changed his plea to guilty for murder to avoid the life in prison. He's sentenced to 6 years for rape to be served consecutively, which not together in a row, with a 25-year murder charge.
31 years.
31 years he gets. Okay, for this. So during sentencing, there's a big rumor, there's a bunch of extra security because there's a huge rumor that her father, Stephen Bergston, who's a lawyer in Tucson, who at this point was just under federal whatever because he represented a bunch of drug dealers and they were saying he was helping them launder money.
Gotcha.
So he had just lost a bunch of properties. His daughter's dead. He doesn't have much to lose at this point. He said, I'm going to fucking kill Gator in this courtroom. There's all sorts of extra security and everything to get between them.
He's got nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. I have nothing to lose. So Gator in court apologized to him, and he screamed out that he was a coward and he deserves to die 1,000 deaths. Deaths, as you would expect.
Yeah.
A father. Yeah. You just butchered her little girl. So, that's not good. He's serving his sentence at Soledad State Prison in California, and I think it's in San Diego down there.
Sounds beautiful.
Sounds picturesque, doesn't it? Very picturesque. He had a parole hearing already.
He already got a parole hearing.
2011, he had a parole hearing. Did not go well for him.
I'm sure it didn't.
Deputy DA Richard Sachs called him an unreasonable risk to society, which everyone pretty much agreed with.
I'm on board.
There was members of Jessica's family there to reiterate that.
Nice.
And so he was denied parole. Not eligible for parole after that hearing for another 7 years. So that's your heart's beating with that one, 7 years. So he is eligible for parole in 2018. So ladies,
get your dancing shoes on.
Get your dancing shoes on. Get on out to the vert ramp.
Thank God nobody has a club anymore.
No.
Everybody's got keyless entry on their car.
Mark Anthony, thank God. Mark Anthony will be out.
Doesn't hurt when you get hit with one of those.
It's funny. With a keyless entry, the key fob. Boom. What the fuck did you do that for, dude? Stop. Dude, that's like, I'm going to have a lump on my head now. Dude, stop. You're being a dick. It's much different from, why are you handcuffing me to your bed? Don't put that there.
Yeah, don't put that inside
very bad. He was age 44 when he was denied parole. That was in February 2011. District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis said, "I'm proud of our office's work to keep this inmate behind bars where he belongs."
I'm proud of you too,
I tend to agree. Yeah. I tend
Bonnie
to agree with that.
Bonnie did good work.
He did good work. She did good work. So, I mean, this guy, everybody else at least had like a cause and effect to their crime that we've gone through so far. This guy was like the crazy. He's diagnosed severe bipolar. He was in jail also.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got mental problems, alcohol, depression, drugs, lack of career.
Yeah.
This girl dumps him.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, too.
That's a key catalyst.
Yeah. I mean, he has been like a cool guy since he was 12.
That's what happens when cool wears off.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And when you're 12 and you're a badass and you're 17 and you're making money and you're 19 and you buy a big house and you're skateboarding and and then by 23 you're fucking done. Ugh. No more money. No one gives a shit about you. People are making fun of you.
Midlife crisis in your 20s.
Yeah, he became hair metal, basically, at that point. Where it was like Nirvana came out, and he was still standing there with his makeup on.
And he's Motley
his hair
Crue.
teased up, and he's like, what about me? Why, you guys really like it? Let me play Every Rose. You guys like that, right? No, it's cool. They're like, get the fuck out of here, old man.
Let me play Kickstart My Heart. Stick around. Come here.
Yeah, it's Poison and Motley Crue, all of them. So, yeah, you're standing there being Warrant, and you got Cherry Pie happening.
Right.
And then Nirvana's got Black and White and Gritty, and that just didn't...
Hang on to your money and stick around for 20 years. You're going to be cool again eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's what happens every time.
That's what happens, and that's what would have happened, probably.
Right. Yeah.
There's probably, like, skating reunion things where they all go
him
and
Tony Hawk now.
You know, they have, like, the wrestling conventions and all. They'd probably be a Comic-Con, these guys.
Shit, yeah.
I'm sure some of them are. I don't know. But he was a popular figure, and it's so funny. My cousin Ian bought his board a few years ago off of eBay or something, just because it was that's a board people had when he skated when he was a kid.
Might
so
as well.
Getting
it's
a Gator.
Cheap.
Yeah. So it was a cool board for that flat nose type, which I don't prefer, but whatever.
You want the double hooks on them.
But I mean, that's the Gator and his insanity. I mean.
2 more years and we may get more of it.
We might get more of it.
That's
He's
pretty
been
awesome.
in a long time.
He's not going to get out. I'm 51 years old. They're not going to let him out.
He's been in there, though. At that point, and we're talking, he's been in there 26 years.
He's close to getting out anyway.
I mean,
he's going to get out in his 50s.
At least we can keep an eye on him for 5 more years. If we let him out now, he could be on parole rather than just letting him out when in 5 years.
Just letting him free.
Let's see. Let's let him go fuck up in 5 years. We'll get him back. Because he keeps, in all of his interviews from jail and like this documentary, he keeps saying like he apologizes a million times. He's nowadays, I guess he's medicated up. He's saying totally on him. My bad. He's pulling a complete my bad. He's not blaming anybody but himself. He's saying, Brandy's a girl that could have done whatever she wanted, and it wasn't right of him to be jealous, and it wasn't right of him to take it out on Jessica. She was an innocent girl, and he's a piece of shit, and he deserves to be where he is, and he just wants to try to turn his life around someday.
For once, I can't get enough of listening to him. I love hearing him humble.
That's it. Nowadays, he's just very humble. And I don't know if he's just saying that because he's a guy who's up for parole soon.
Wants out.
And he's like, I'm super sorry. Never happen again.
Can't say sorry enough.
I don't know what came over me. This lithium's doing wonders. I'm feeling good. I am ready to go hit the streets. Let's skate. Who's in?
Let's find a pool.
Let's practice some rail slides, guys. What do you say? Come on.
51 years old. He's going to have brittle bones. He can't.
Oh, God.
There's no skating anymore, so.
No, he's fucking done. So when he gets out, I don't know what the hell he's going to do.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Look for him sweeping up hair in your local barber shop.
Probably.
Or, something that you would hire a retarded person to do.
I picture him going back to some beach community between San Diego and LA and just combing the beach for loose change.
That would be
He's
good.
He's going to get himself a metal detector. Yeah.
Get a metal detector. Get yourself some black socks and some sandals and some shitty shorts and get out there.
A big wide brim hat and go find that change.
Who knows what you'll find? Maybe you'll find a club. You need a new one.
If you do go to LA, if you go to the beach sometime, there's nothing more fun than grabbing that change in your car. Everybody's got it. And just jam it in your pocket. Go out and sit on the beach and just penny after penny and just lob it near those guys with the metal detectors. Make sure they don't catch you. And then every now and again, throw a quarter. Because they'll chase those pennies and they'll go, fuck, penny, fuck, another penny. Then they'll find that quarter and it gives them hope.
It makes it all worthwhile. Makes it all worthwhile.
It's so goddamn fun.
I've made now 28 cents. I am the master.
But he'll keep going when he finds the quarter.
We're almost even on this $467 metal detector. Yes.
And I'm going to have to dump this change into the parking meter by the beach.
Master plan complete. Like a terrible evil genius.
I love it.
So yeah, that's Mark Rogowski, guys, the Gator. We hope you thought he was as much of a fucking batshit loon as we did.
I love him.
Because I liked him at first. Yeah. I liked that kind. When I was a kid, too, you would like that punk ass, like, hey, fuck cops, and I'll go punch this guy and let him give me some chicks. You root for the underdog. And that's the thing. He was a poor kid. Yeah. He didn't have everything. He was a single mother, poor kid, had shitty boards. He said he used to go to the skate shops and just drool over the new boards and just be like, oh man, I want that so bad.
No dad looking up to his brother.
No, looking up to his brother. And I mean, he did well for himself and then he did a little worse for himself. That was, if he wouldn't have killed that girl,
he drove it into the ground.
Could have put it back together.
Could have been.
Didn't quite work out.
What could have been?
That's him. We have some great episodes coming up.
I'm looking forward to it.
We have so many fun ones. I think we're going to do Ryan Leaf next week because the NFL draft's coming up, and so we're going to give you the biggest draft bust ever, possibly, and one of the biggest post-life disasters. Also,
I love it.
Disaster on the field, disaster off the field. At least Greg Hardy's a disaster off the field. On the field, decent defensive tackle.
This guy's just consistent through every aspect of his life.
Yeah, and it all up. And so much promise, too. That's what makes it so great. For someone to have the world just by the balls and just go, no thanks. No thanks. I'm going to go to jail now.
Hey, we got any pills?
We got any pills?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So we have that. We have a whole bunch of other ones coming up. Just trust us. All sorts of good stuff. As you can see by this story, if you knew nothing about Mark Gator Rogowski or skateboarding, it's an interesting story. Yeah. You had no idea that Jessica Bergston was going to come back and end up dead at the end. One minute she's fucking an Asian skater, and the next minute she's dead in the desert.
Having a great time in Phoenix.
And then shit goes awry in 4 short years of her knowing nothing. So we thought you guys would like that little twist. Tune in. Please also, if you could, follow us on social media. At Crime and Sports on Twitter. crimeinsports@gmail.com. If you want to drop us a line, email us. Facebook.com/crimeinsports. If you want to do it that way, like we said, please rate and review.
Yes.
You want to give them your Twitter handle?
Sure. At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. And then Jimmy Whisman on Facebook. JMMIE. It's the fucking worst.
And I am at Jimmy P is funny, regular spelling on the Jimmy on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook and all that. Follow the links, do all that good stuff.
Yes.
We can't thank you guys enough. Please tell your friends. Spread the word.
Yeah.
Listen to us and show us around. Crime and Sports Movement. Get it done, guys. Come on. We're building. We've had so many new listeners.
It's been great.
It's so cool. So we're building, and this is an organic thing.
Yeah.
We're not sprung on by
grassroots, motherfucker.
Yeah, by some network bullshit. This is just two guys, and this is a cool thing about the internet. You people out there, we don't know us.
Right.
We're not famous comics.
No.
You found us somehow in there, and now we've made friends with you.
And I love it.
You let us into your lives, and you let us tell you about scum every week. We couldn't be happier to do it.
The most scum.
The most scum. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Thank you for everything. Catch us next week. We will see you then. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.